Yo, what up, Street Talks? There, Kim. All right, the Turbo Thought. So this Turbo Thought is about, how to become stronger. So first and foremost, what is it that we seek? I think it's for greater strength, and there's different ways to think about there's a physiological strength, there's the creative strength, and I think in order to become stronger, some conditions, right? So, even if you think about the ancient Greek gods, even the gods sleep. So I think the first one is to optimize your sleep. The easiest way to optimize your sleep, my opinion, is just drink a shitload of coffee or caffeine first thing in the morning, but be super hardcore and abstain for the rest of the day. I've been really liking this new Death Wish coffee. They even have a medium roast now, which is a blend of Arabica and Robusta, which is actually a good idea. And, lately I've been waking up kind of naturally around maybe 6:30 or so. So I'll wake up and then, have pound 6 espressos and then just kind of get on with my day and do my creative work. And even at around 11 or noon, having another coffee or espresso, I start getting too much heart palpitations. So it seems not like a good idea. So I'm going to stop doing that. And before you sleep, just eat a shitload of meat. So, get grass-fed ground beef. You get frozen burger patties at Costco Business Center. Get beef ribs. Beef liver is great. Beef heart. Beef intestines are also good. And in the evening, don't play video games. Don't watch shows or movies and stuff like that. If anything, I think the road to having the best life is to not have any streaming services. And, if you're still awake at night, just read a paperback book. And this is a big thing because I've experimented using Kindle versus iPad reading at night, and the big problem is not so much the light thing. It's just more of so for example, even on the Kindle Paperwhite or whatever, it's you just look at highlight stuff and look up words and stuff like that, whereas a paperback, it's kind of more of a closed box. So in the evenings, reading philosophy or poetry is a good way to ease the mind. And also, during the day, try a 1 rep max deadlift or a squat to make sure that you had enough physiological exertion so you could fall asleep at night. And a simple thing too is charge your phone in a separate bedroom. Don't charge it next to you. If you need an alarm clock to wake up, I think it's a good investment idea to just buy a standalone digital alarm clock. This is a good idea. And also, I think one of the most important things is to not be afraid of failure. So I don't like the notion of quote failure. I like this notion of a miss, right? So even in powerlifting, try a deadlift or a squat and you can't get it up or whatever. Okay, continuing thought on how to become stronger. So also, a big one is the physiological one, right? So going to the gym, attempting 1 rep maxes, and whether you succeed or fail, it doesn't really matter. To me, success and failure is actually the same thing. What's more important, I think, is for you to attempt the max and just not be afraid. So for example, with squats, right? There's really no downside to attempting a max attempt squat because you can't get it up. All you have to do is just, ditch it behind you. So it's pretty easy. And that's actually the biggest thing, is that I think most people are afraid what would happen if they can't get it up, and just practicing being able to ditch the bar behind you is quite good. Similarly speaking, I found one of the biggest benefits of shooting or doing sumo deadlifts is that at worst case scenario, you just can't get the weight off the ground. So actually, in some ways, powerlifting is way safer. Also, if you wanted to attempt max attempt for bench press, whatever, I just recommend doing it on the floor because you can't get it up. You don't have to rely on a spotter. It's not going to fall on your neck or whatever. Or using dumbbells is also quite good. And like my personal thing is every single week I just attempt a 1 rep max, and I just try to increase my total 1 rep max by 5 pounds every single week, which is just adding another 2.5 pound potato chip on each side. And then can't get it up, just take a few days off and just try again later. And I think the great thing is the more you practice, the better you'll become. And I think this is something that people don't understand is actually strength is kind of more of a skill and a practice rather than anything else. Like even, for example, I was doing some max deadlift attempts, squats, and actually the big thing is I like kind of a little bit out of practice. I was like a little sick for a little bit. So actually being able to reaccustom myself to the bar position, to when to squat down, how far to do it, like getting distracted by different things like the squat depth and stuff like that. So essentially the more you practice, the better you're going to become. And an easy way to think about it is when you're squatting, deadlifting, whatever, try the max or what you think the max is, and if you can't get it up, try again, but just scale back like 5 or 10 pounds or whatever, and just kind of see to the point where you could hit it. And there's actually this very empowering feeling knowing what your current max is and then just trying it later. And I think there's like if you want to become the strongest human being possible, I think physical strength is a critical component of the equation. I think the foolish thing that people say, oh, as long as I have a beautiful soul. I mean, a simple thing, right? If you want to become, a great photographer, having stronger legs will improve your ability to squat down super low. Even using heavy kettlebell swings and hip openers has helped me squat lower with less fatigue and stuff like that. Also, you'll be able to walk around more, sprint more for the photos. And also the good thing with powerlifting or weightlifting, whatever, is it increases your testosterone, which is good because it regulates your mood and your fear aversion. And actually the interesting thing I actually learned from a theory from Nassim Taleb is the misconception of quote unquote roid rage, right, is that like guys who take too much testosterone or have too high testosterone actually get angrier easier. But actually I find out that's actually not the case. Men with low testosterone actually become angry by the smallest trifles, whereas this is my theory. So if you have a high testosterone, right, natural testosterone, don't take supplements or injections or none of that silly stuff, is the bar for your anger is much higher. So 99% of things don't really faze you, but when you actually really do get angry, it is actually totally justified. And other ways to increase your testosterone naturally, just eat more beef. My theory is cholesterol, a sterol, which comes in animal products, is the higher the cholesterol, the higher the natural steroid for you to increase your testosterone is my theory. So if you look at predators, what is it that predators mostly eat? The first thing they do is they eat the liver, they eat the heart, the entrails, like the offal, the intestines, stuff like that. So next time you have the opportunity, try eating beef liver, beef heart, beef intestines. I found a pretty good Korean barbecue place. All you can eat Korean barbecue place actually offers the three. And actually after having beef liver, beef heart, and beef intestine, I slept so well that night, and actually I felt greater the next day. And then after that, eating lean and at the Korean barbecue, eating lean meat, just like, the brisket and stuff, is like, it's not even like nutritious, right? So focusing on your nutrition is quite essential. And I mean, a big philosophical thing too is, I don't know, I think life is too short. Why not don't like, this is my decision matrix. Don't live a lame life. Try to live a great life. And so what is the lame life? Just buying a car, buying a house, so basic, right? And use your life opportunity to do some reckless self-experimentation. See how far your strength could go. And then, how does one become altruistic? I think is your strength and your power is so overwhelming in a good way that spills over to others.